All right. Good morning. How's it going? Happy Sunday. Just looking at what we were working on last week, which was the Twitch integration stuff. And I was thinking there was something that I did after stream, or there was like some unfinished thing. I don't know. I don't see. I was looking at the closed pull request. Honestly, let me just there we go. We'll go back to here, right? So, looking at what's in the PR, right? And I can't see the thing. I guess if I looked at the list of commits, let me see this a little bit more. Excuse me. Looking at the if we looked at the commits in this PR, maybe and looked at the timing of them. So 8:19 p.m. Interesting. So I was doing some things on this. So the 8th was last Sunday, right? 7. Boy, I did a lot of stuff after stream on this PR. But I thought I'd kind of come back to it and revisit it, since it was a thing we spent like most of the last Sunday stream on. Interesting. Well, this can't be true. That's definitely not correct. Hold on. Okay, just checking. Did I create commits for this after stream? Maybe that's true, because I don't really recall creating a bunch of independent commits for things during the stream, but I'm confused. Anyway, oh, maybe this was rebased? Yes, that's what it is. So when I was working on this on Sunday evening after the stream, I went and I rebased this and then merged it. It's a rebase merge, probably. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is that unfortunately looking at the list of commits is not going to be super helpful. Boy, I have a lot of tabs with pull requests. Anyway, what are we doing today? Since I don't have a good answer of what was remaining, I think mainly feedback on, hey, is the connection open or not? Did it, if things are disconnected, displaying status somewhere, those sorts of things. Because I recall the last thing, the big thing last week was realizing that you can set an auto load. You can you can have in your project settings for your auto loads, right? You can use a scene as an auto load, which as you can see, I've not done any of these other ones. Apparently you can do that. I might have to do that more. That's interesting. Anyway, that all being said, that seemed to sort out a lot of issues that we were having, where it was not loading the settings from the project. It wasn't using project settings. I think that happened on stream. If it didn't, well, that's that's the explanation. Anyway, what are we doing today? Well, we could do a number of things. We could pull in more Twitch integration stuff, right? Continue that. It's not kind of anything we've laid the groundwork for it, so we could continue working on it. We could work on some of these bugs. I have some AI generated pull requests. We could check to see. We could test those things. We could work on this PR for using Dialogic for a tutorial. This is all, I don't know. Of the AI generated stuff, this one is going to be the most questionable because it is a new area that it's trying to build up. We might just look at this and then build it ourselves. I'm not really excited about doing that right now. And so let's do this. Maybe we'll start with looking at one of these bug PRs, and then we will shift over and we will ourselves work on oh, if we're gonna do that, we need to get okay. So I think let's work on these two things. That shouldn't take too long. I think I looked at these briefly this last week and they looked okay. So we'll test them out. This one specifically was something I had Copilot take and run with to help us with the whole Twitch integration thing. We want to have this idea of survivor profiles, right? So that when we assign a name, either from the pool of default names or from the names coming from Twitch, right? The priority pool, that when you go from one scenario to another, survivors that are in that scenario will get automatically assigned a profile name. Maybe we could do something else with that. Like if we really built a story around the survivors, we could actually assign an identity, and the identity would then be tied to, like, not a name, but like it's identity 1, identity 2, identity 3, and then you would request that consistent identity or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. For now, they are. The idea is that you have these profiles. You have like a list of profiles, and when the scenario starts, whatever survivors are in there will take a survivor profile slot in order, right, and assign them all out to the survivors. So if you have one scenario where you have like 5 survivors, and this is the first, well, okay, bad example. So you start the game, you can start the tutorial, you can do the first scenario, right? And you have one survivor. That survivor gets a profile from the pool, and that profile sticks around in your save. When you go to the next scenario, and you have 2 survivors, then one of the survivors will get that same profile, and then another will get a new profile with a new randomly picked name, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the idea. And then if you end up with a scenario that has fewer survivors, like let's say you go back and replay scenario 1, well, it's going to take the first profile, and then the other profiles will still be around, they just won't be used. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then what we'll probably do is eventually have survivors appearance, like the skin they have, based on the profile, right? So they look the same, and we'll need more skins. Anyway, I'll deal with that when we get to it. Okay, so that's a lot of talking to say that after we do these two things, I think what we should do is we should go over. That's not on this list. Let's move this back to ready, because I'm not actually working on it. And honestly, we move that back to ready too, because I'm honest. I mean, it's only a few characters left, but it's few and far between when I get the motivation to work on the custom font. Because it's not fun. It's not fun. It's tedious. Anyway, I think I might have like a label or something for these, but we'll just search. So implement viewer name integration is, I think, wait, what is this? Add random names to survivors and zombies. Okay, well, we didn't do zombies. I don't know. Let's hold on, let's redo this. So I think this should be the idea of, if a survivor dies, then maybe that name can be available for a zombie, and we give zombies names. I don't know. I think what I want to do is we're just going to close this. Survivor names done elsewhere. I can spell, I can write. And I don't think we want names for zombies. Bam. Okay. Viewer voting system, viewer name integration, sabotage, aid via channel points. I think these might end up being the same thing. Did we have any ideas in here? Channel point redemption. Okay, so this is about redeems, right? So you have redeems that the Twitch integration will add to your Twitch channel, and then you'll be able to, as a viewer, use the redeem to help her harm, right? Help her hurt. And this one is something I think inspired by something where do we see that? A few different game integrations, I think, for Mind Over Magic and for RimWorld, where on a cycle, the integration will start a poll, and will you'll be able to have viewers vote for an outcome, right? So the integration will come up with like the different things that can happen, and then there's a poll and people can vote, and that'll be the idea. So we will get to there. I do want to start with something hopefully simpler. Here's a question. Do we want to have a name command, or do we want to have a redeem? I think we'll have a name command. So it doesn't even use channel points. Okay, so here's my plan. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at the 2 AI generated pull requests for bug fixes and kind of some foundational stuff. We'll not look at this one quite yet. Then once we get those merged in, we will take on the being able to use a name command in Twitch chat to be able to submit your name into the pool of names for survivors, right? So we have already built the pool, so we just need to integrate from the Twitcher add-on, taking a command, taking the argument, putting it into the pool, handling different edge cases, and this I will actually tackle. Like, I don't have a PR in the pipe. No pull request generated from Copilot. We'll take this on. Okay, so do I think I want to actually work on decouple zombie attack range from navigation stopping distance? So this was because of a bug that we observed last stream where, let's just launch the game. You know, we have a game. There's a game in this. So if we start the game, and I don't know what I did, but something changed the keybinds. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so we have Ida here. We've got a generated name from our pool. We can see if we hover over the car, we can see its hit points. We can collect scrap. I think I have, oh, I don't have desktop audio turned on. Hold on one second, I'll do that. I think, yeah, music is 8%. Not too loud, is it? Nah, it's fine. The zombie hitting the car. Oh no. But the issue that we observed was that, and we looked at another scenario too, where the survivor starts on the ground and is vulnerable. So the idea here is that the car as a refuge gives you as a player time to like figure out what's going on and figure out what to do. That reminds me of something. It was a great thing about like talking through all the stuff and like verbalizing it is I often think of things that I wouldn't think of otherwise. Let's do this. So let's have Copilot open a yeah, cool. Have Copilot open a new issue for us. So what was the thing that occurred to me that I didn't verbalize after saying how great it is to verbalize stuff? I don't know. I might have already lost it. Oh, yes. Okay, so pausing. When the game is paused, we have a problem, which is that I think. So, one, you don't have to launch the pause menu to pause, right? You can just hit space to pause, and you can still move the camera around. You can't assign stuff to hotbars. You can unlock things in the tech tree, which is nice. Okay, and that will auto add things to the hotbar, but you can't change anything in the hotbar while the game is paused. Yes. So yeah, we have another hotbar related bug. We got a lot of those. Okay, let's open a GitHub issue about a bug where the player cannot interact with to add or remove or change the items in the hotbar. The player should still not be able to use the items in the hotbar to place them in the world, but the player should be able to change their hotbar while the game is paused. Note that this would just be when the time, the game speed is set to 0. Not none of this is applicable if the pause menu is up. All right. I'll think about that for a little bit, and we can look at that later. So anyway, back to what the issue is. The issue that we're talking about is that when the car is destroyed, what I noticed is that, well, the zombies still can't hit Ida here, right? This is like the worst example of this because we have to sit here and wait for the car to be destroyed. But we saw this in another scenario too, where the survivor was on the ground and there were no obstacles, and the zombie just went up and then couldn't hit him. What's up with that? Still not happy with the way the hotbars are being done right now, where the hotbars overlap and you can't tell what's for what. So we should do something about that. But yeah, so the zombie can't hit. Why can't the zombie hit? Well, maybe we can test this ourselves to make sure we understand what the issue is. Let's see. So the zombies are inside of the spawner. Yeah, there's enemy. Okay. They have various settings that we created previously. So there's obstacle attack range, there's scrap reward, there's enemy type, movement speed, target desired distance is how far, like, this is the value that the zombie wants to be away from the thing that it's trying to get to, right? So this affects pathfinding, because if the zombie is within target desired distance, it stops trying to pathfind. If it's not, it keeps on trying to pathfind. Obstacle attack range is how far away from an obstacle can it attack an obstacle. Yeah, I think so. If we look at the AI generated pull request, decouple zombie attack range from navigation stopping distance. So yeah, target desired distance is that navigation stopping distance. But it's also used for how far away the zombie can be to attack. Do we think this is true though? Why would it being coupled affect whether or not the zombie can hit the survivor? Right? Because if it's further than 0.5, and I know it's saying something about physics floating point and precision, that seems hard to believe. Let's take a look at the code here. before we do, let's look at this bug that it's going to open for us. Player cannot modify hotbar items when game is pause speed 0. When the game speed is set to 0 pause, the player is unable to add, remove, or change items in the hotbar. Hotbar UI should remain interactive during this pause state, so the player can manage their loadout. While the game should not be able to use them. Good. Clarification. Game speed is set to 0. Time scale 0 does not apply when the pause menu is opened. Yep. Okay, that all looks like what I wanted. It's very detailed. Lots of words. Okay. So how do zombies work? Hold on, is it enemy.gd? Yeah. Okay, so enemy.gd is the script for our base enemy. A very generic term there for our zombies. And we have these different exports. So the one at question here is this target desired distance. So what's the difference between path and target? Path desired distance, the distance threshold before a path point is considered to be reached. If this value is set too high, navigation agent will skip points on the path, which can lead to it leaving the navigation mesh. If this value is set too low, navigation agent will be stuck in a repath loop because it will constantly overshoot the distance to the next point on each physics frame update. So I suspect that we should not have okay, so this is why this is called target desired distance. I don't necessarily want to change it. I do think what I want to do here is I want to add a new thing. I don't want to bury the path desired distance, the 0.5 in here. I want it to be adjustable, right? Unless there was some way for us to like calculate what it should be. I don't think there is. Path desired distance, there we go. And then path desired distance, there we go. Okay, so now that number is no longer hard coded. We can tune it. Okay, back to the matter at hand though. Target desired distance. Right. So we have this thing where if we have a resource, we can say, hey, instantiate we can say, hey, I have a node that has the script attached to it, right? I have a zombie, but I have this resource file that has a bunch of settings. Take the settings and apply them to this node, right? Because we want the ability to spawn zombies, not just place them. Like, it's all well and good to be like, oh, we have a level and it has this many zombies. What we decided long ago was to have this wave mechanic and this spawner to create the zombies. And so I guess what I could have done is I could have made the spawner, I could have like used the editor to have like a scene or like put actual zombie nodes into the spawner and it would like shoot them out. I could have done that. I didn't do that. If I would have done that, then instead of having these separate resources that I would go and edit, and I would be like, okay, spawn 5 of these zombies with this resource. I guess I would have ended up in a situation where I had like 5 zombies in the wave. And then I would have been able to edit the actual zombies in the Godot editor. Is this better? Is this worse? I don't know. One of the things that we can do with this though is that this load resource can do things like if we had some percentage base, like the The scrap reward is a percentage that we wanted to calculate, like when the zombie is instantiated, or maybe that's a bad example. Maybe health is randomly generated. We could do that here. Anyway. Okay, so getting tangent back on track. Okay, none of that has anything to do with how it's actually being used. So so the pathfinding will just use it, right? Because we took target desired distance and we gave it to the navigation agent. So all the pathing stuff will use that. The question is, what about attacks, right? So we have this method attack target, and that is the only place outside of pathfinding that uses it. And so what we say here is that we say a bunch of stuff. We figure out who we're attacking, and we say, okay, so the current target, wherever it is, what is its position? What is our position? What is the distance to the target from where we're at? If the distance to the target is less than or equal to the target desired distance, perform attack. So why would target desired distance being 0.5 prevent the attack from happening? Well, I think I know. Is this a collision thing? I don't know. Hold on. Where's the survivor? What is hover body? Hover body? Oh, right. So in other scenarios, I got it. In other scenarios, survivors do not have a hitbox. They don't have collision. Hitbox is the wrong word. They don't have collision. They don't have the static body 3D or collision shape. But because we needed to have the survivor standing on something, and that something disappears and they fall down, I think we had to add this hover body. This uses the default target. Okay. Do we use hover body in, like, how does this work? Undied. Did we? Mesh survivor name. So the survivor is a node 3D. It's not like a character or whatever the character body 3D. So it doesn't have any of the like built-in. It doesn't have physics. To make a long story short, so what's going on here? Let's go here. Let's open scenario 1. So hey, Ty, how's it going? Good morning. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at the scenario. Trying to figure out how all this works again. Okay, so we have a survivor. We have... So wait, if we look at the survivor scene... Okay, so hover body is in there. And it has this collision shape. Yeah, oh, hey, Pawn X Pawn. Hello, welcome. You're jealous of the keyboard. Well, it was a little bit of an investment, but I like it. It's a ZSA Moonlander. They are still available if you want to shell out like $500, 400 and something, whatever they are now. Okay, so we have our survivor. What is the nature of... So is this... Oh, maybe the script for this lives on the car. No, I don't want to do that. Open an editor. Oh, yeah, okay. So that's an automatically imported thing. So there's no... Confused. Okay, so the car has health. Use the normal health script. You can't, still can't find your perfect wireless split keyboard for less than 200? Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of requirements. That's, you know, inexpensive and wireless and split. At least you're standing right now. All right. Is that a at least you're standing, as in that you're doing that activity, or you have a standing desk, or what do we mean here? So what makes the survivor fall is what I'm really trying to figure out right now. Because I don't remember how this works. Is this, is this is a script that's on the scenario, isn't it? Yeah. So we have a method, car destroyed also. Let's make that bigger for you guys. I know it's kind of sometimes hard to read text. You're standing at a standing desk. Nice. This desk is also a standing desk. I have not raised it in quite a while. I think I still can. I do have like a quad monitor set up. So there's a lot of weight on this at this point, but it still works. And the top of the tree and the top of the top row of monitors wouldn't hit the ceiling or anything. But I should use my standing desk more, honestly. Actually, I think after stream and lunch today, I think what I want to do is I need to do some cleaning around the house. And I'm gonna pull the desk off the wall, and I mean just like roll it away from the wall so I can get back there, and we'll clean up. I've been thinking about doing an intro video. Your bug got tired from sitting, so you went to lay down. Now I'm standing. Okay, well, all sorts of modes going on there. Okay, right. So this looks familiar. We did this not too many weeks ago, right? So if the car is destroyed, we free the car. We create a tween that causes the survivor to fall. So what is the point of hover body and collision shape? You're gonna eat chicken noodle soup and fried fish tomorrow. Ooh. Fried fish and chicken noodle? Planning early? Okay. Yeah, I need to do, not necessarily meal prep, but like make some stuff for the week. Tried that a couple of times, and sometimes that works, and then we just don't keep it up, right? Like make a big thing lasagna and have lasagna for the whole week. Not every day, but have enough that it's a thing to have. And then next week comes around, we don't have the next recipe, the next thing to do. But yeah. Anyway. Okay, so questions. Still a little not congested, but you got some stuff going on in the sinuses still from this last week. Been kind of under the weather, which is why there were no streams for a couple of days last week. Pawn says we using VSC for GD. You get comfortable with the built-in editor. Yeah, so one thing is that, and people have different opinions on AI assisted coding, but I really like Copilot, and I'm paying GitHub for Copilot, and so like the integration in VS Code for that, and I'm just comfortable with it. I have been thinking about back. It's been like a year and a half or 2 years at this point. We toyed a little bit on stream with NeoVim, so I might go back to that. That used to be my daily editor for a long time until I tried out Atom for a little bit, and then I was working with the team that was using VS Code, and I just got really used to using VS Code. You tried Copilot with Godot like in 2023, 2024? Yeah. I think AI stuff has come a long way. It's a tool, might as well use it. Yeah, sure. Exactly. And I feel like it's really accelerated some things, although what I'm doing right now is I think demonstrating it's not perfect because so we have a pull request that Copilot made for me, and I am trying to figure out if this is truly the issue, right? So it's saying that the issue is this. I guess let's do this. Before I go any further, let's do this. Let me So we did one thing here. So we refactored navigation agent distance settings to use export variable. Yeah, okay, that's true. In enemy script. Very verbose, but okay. So let's actually try. Uh-oh. I prevented myself from pushing to my own repo. Yeah, okay. That's all well and good until, I mean, it is a good thing, right? Of like, hey, make sure the unit test passed before you push stuff. But on the other hand, I would like to just push stuff right now. Let us disable that. All right, hold on. Use passkey. Just trust me. Just trust me, bro. Ty says, I find that it's easier to do it yourself in Godot IDE rather than trying to understand what Copilot is doing in VS Code. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, you want to understand what the code is regardless. It's just a question of, is it going to be easier to read a bunch of code or write the code? And I really like, it's kind of like a puzzle to read code. Hopefully not a hard puzzle. That's a bad sign. But I like reading code. Okay. But in this case, what I would really like to do is test it, right? There's no point in like worrying about whether this is right or not if it just doesn't work. So let's actually grab this branch and try it. Honestly, if you've been coding for a minute, you can fix Copilot issues without much sweat. Depends. Sometimes, like if you're using some, like if you haven't generated a bunch of stuff, sometimes it just doesn't miss the mark. It doesn't understand what you want. You gotta give it guidance. It can be way off, but yeah. Generally, I agree. Generally. Okay, so here's the game. What are we hoping for here? So we're hoping that the game will start. The zombie will spawn in. Oh yeah, also, that works. That is actually from our Twitch integration. Let me turn that off. Which is what we worked on last week. We got it working. So anyway, so here comes the zombie. Apparently Scout is in our pool of names. And so the Twitch integration stuff is what I'm going to work on today once we get through these pull requests, which hopefully won't take too much longer. So what I'm hoping for here is the car will be destroyed by the zombie. I could make this faster, I guess, by giving the zombie more hit damage or making the car weaker. Anyway, it'll be there in a second. The survivor will fall, and then the zombie will attack and successfully kill the survivor. He will be an ex-survivor. Ty says back then using data from Godot 2.13 for training, using newly released GT4. So many things moved around. It's too annoying to fix. Yeah, that could be something like doing a migration. Godot 4 has been out a little bit now, so doing a migration and having Copilot help you doing that could be a thing to do. Okay, so it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work, but why? So if we look at the scenario and we look at the spawner and the enemy, target attack range 2. Make it big. Okay, well that worked. Okay, maybe 2 wasn't big enough. Let's do some things here. So in our scenario, we'll take the health of the car, and we'll drop the health of the car to like 1. And then we will go to our zombie, so enemy here, and then we'll say, yeah. So target attack range. Make that 4. That is the default for the target desired distance. Okay, so let's try that. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Target attack range is the range it needs to be away from the target. So basically what I'm thinking is the case is that the zombie can't get close enough with its pathfinding to be able to hit the target when the target desired distance is so small. Okay, so 4 isn't big enough. Hold on. 8. Okay, great. Let's play this scenario again. Let's go faster. Hotkeys still work, so that's good. Why isn't the... Okay. So, yeah, the issue is not this at all. What's going on? Watch this. So 0.5. No. Okay. 1. Two. I 10? Games changed set to playing. Sample not found. Survivor Fen has died. Source basic zombie. Okay. So confused. I am confused. So let's try this one more time, right? So it feels like the issue is not the number, it's something about it changing. Like something about the number changing is changing something in the zombie to tell it, oh, we can attack now. Yeah. Okay, so what's going on with the enemy? So how does when is attack target called on process. Okay, so every frame, we try to attack target. So it's not like we wouldn't. Okay, so there is a choose target. Oh yeah, we aren't going to see any of these logs because our log level isn't set down to trace. So we might want to lower, like increase the log level or decrease, or however you want to frame it, to see what's going on there. But I suspect that maybe choose target isn't choosing a target. Where is that implemented? Okay, so we look for everything in the tree that's in our target group. If it's 0, then we can't do anything. Otherwise, we pick a random target and we set the target position. Okay, so there's not really anything I think that can go wrong there. But if we fail to find a current target, then we bail out of attack target, right? Then we say fallback obstacle target. Okay, so if we had picked a thing, ooh, but so is valid instance. This is interesting. Fallback obstacle target. Okay, if it's not a valid instance, which it wouldn't be, right? If the car is destroyed, then it gets freed, and so the reference to it would no longer be a valid instance. So it would be here, and so fallback target obstacle target would be not equal to null. We would see this. So do we see fallback obstacle destroyed when the car is destroyed? Yeah. Maybe. No. Hold on. How's that logged? Enemy.navigation. Found blocking obstacle switching to fallback target. But it never gets to fallback obstacle destroyed, rechecking path to target. So that's the real issue. It has nothing to do with the stuff Copilot did, I think. Well, here's a question. Okay, so if we're not seeing this, then fallback obstacle target is still a valid instance. When we destroy the car, we do queue free the car, which is this node in this scenario. Okay, let's change our log level. Also, let's simplify things a little bit. Right, so let me revert all these changes. I'm not convinced. Clearly, the PR as it is isn't doing what it's supposed to do, so we're on our own. What I do want to do, so we're gonna go back to main. We'll reload the project. We'll go back to scenario 1, and we'll change the health of the car back down to 1, just so it's easier to test what's going on. And just for, well, hold on, let me do some things. Project settings, general, logging. So log level. I think that will get us to trace. So it's like info, debug, trace. I wish this could be like an enum, but I didn't see a way to do that. I'm tempted to change things so that that's fine. Well, so it's a little weird, right? In the project settings, there's this like top level freestanding logging thing. It might be nice to have a section. Fine, whatever. Let's do it now. How do we do that? Yeah. Logger, project settings, register, load project settings. Oh, is this just a I see. Maybe what I needed to do was have the project setting be like Nom Defense /logging. Well, I'm not gonna change it now. That's it'd be one thing if there was like one thing to change, but if I don't want to risk breaking something. Okay, so we changed log levels. We made the car have 1 hit point. We'll run this. We're gonna get a lot of logs. Nope. We get no logs. Okay, great. So I did that wrong. Good to know. I guess it's the other way. Is it 0 for all the logs? Yeah, it is. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's filter for enemy. There we go. So I just see all the stuff coming from our enemy. Get that zombie in there. Bam. Okay. And then nothing. And then nothing. Okay. So let's look at the logs around that area. Attacking fallback obstacle. Car destroyed. The panic behavior in the survivor is triggering. The spawner is waiting. That's interesting. Why?
Not again. Why me? Why me? Oh no. Why me? Oh no. Oh no.
I don't see the enemy doing anything, which is really weird. It's very odd. Alright, so okay, let's add more logs. When in doubt, add more logs. Okay, so let's start with my logger. Let's just dump that. Are we in attack target? Does this get run? It has to, because it's being run from process. But we're not seeing anything else, which is pretty weird. What other cases? I guess we could log here. And we can log here. right? Because otherwise, like you could visit either of the sides of this branch without logging anything. I think perform attack might also log on its own. It doesn't. Oh, that's weird. Okay. My logger. Great. Okay, that should be good. Let's try this. And then we're gonna have to take a little break because Twitch wants to do its thing. We're on ads. So let's see if we can quickly. Alright, whoops. Many things going on. I think I broke it. Zombie was going too fast. Let me see if I can reset him. Okay. How did logging... Hold on one sec. No. Did I catch it in time? Alright. Let's, Alright. Let's try that one more time. That's interesting, though. Something to think about in terms of 4x speed breaking things. Okay.
Just wait for the tone.
Just wait for the tone, it says. Okay, so it's the background music. Attempting to attack target, current target, survivor, fallback target, freed object. No valid fallback obstacle. Target currently set. Okay. So attempting to attack, no valid fallback obstacle. Okay, so that's this.
The person you're trying to reach is not available right now.
And then we get here. But we don't get here? How can that be true? How can that be true?
If you need further assistance, enter pound now.
No valid fallback obstacle target currently set. Right? Just checking. Yeah, only one place that can come from. So we get here, but we don't log this message. Now we don't log this if this is null. But when we logged fallback obstacle target, we saw it was freed object.
Goodbye.
You know, I think let's assume if we're on this branch, maybe this will cause a bug. Let's assume if there is a fallback obstacle target and it's valid, then we do the first thing. If either of those is not true, right? So if fallback obstacle target is not truthy, or it's not a valid instance, then we should just set it to null. We should clear it. We shouldn't hang it around, let it. We shouldn't hold on to it. There we go. And then we should treat. Then this should be true. Okay, so let's try one more time, and then we'll take that break. Okay, interesting.
Not again. Help. Oh no.
Oh, is it hung up on the... Yep. Okay. So, attempting to attack target. Current target is survivor. Fallback obstacle null. No valid fallback obstacle is currently set. Okay. Rechecking path to target. Path to target is reachable. Why aren't you attacking it? Well... Okay. So I think what we want to do is we want to take this and stack it on top of the thing from the other PR. Because this wasn't sufficient either. So let's do this. We're going to take a break here for 3 minutes. And then when we return, I guess what we will do is I will stash these changes, go back to the PR, apply the stash changes to the PR, see if that in combination fixes the issue, and then we'll finally move on to something else. So